what's the first step in the one law? 대답해 주세요. 발산? Radiation?
Radiation.
Yeah, 발산 is radiation, right? Okay, 좋아요. Okay, radiation, that's the action part that we spoke about in the first part of how to create naturally. The power of God acts through us to bring truth into the environment. And what's the next step in the one law? Yeah, response. That radiant action invites response. So, for example, we might express what could help people see things as an evolving process and to cooperate with it. Most people don't see things as evolving. They see them as something to be struck down or changed quickly into something else. So instead of striking down or changing quick, we can consciously cooperate with the evolving process. So we don't try to make something happen that does not harmonize with the one law. We bring what does harmonize with the one law. That relates to what I said. How we do that makes all the difference. Here's the key. Does it harmonize with the one law and God's Spirit or not? Because this one law is like an instrument in our hands by which the purposes of God may be fulfilled. So we handle our circumstances and people in them according to the one law. In various ways, we encourage people to see and respond to the truth. They don't always do it, do they? Well, if they don't respond to the truth, we know their choice will bring them trouble. And they can learn from that trouble. And perhaps later be ready to respond to the truth. And as they do that, they too may begin to see the one law and the creative process working. So in this third part of how to create naturally, aligning with God's Spirit and law, we begin to see things as evolving. We don't even see anything to condemn. In fact, there is nothing to condemn. And it's only when we realize that we begin to know the truth. When we see the truth, we don't observe anything to condemn. Okay, what do we see then? We begin to see how the power of God is working to fulfill the purposes of God. Isn't that amazing? Instead of seeing all these things to resist and criticize, we begin to see how the power of God is working to fulfill the purposes of God. So we take radiant action that cooperates with that. God's power is working. It's in the process of fulfilling the purposes of God. It's doing it whether people like it or not. Whether people cooperate with it or not. It's doing it anyway. But if we begin to cooperate with this, we become the channel for heaven's power to be born into the range of human experience. We become the channel to let the design and control of truth bring forth heaven's beautiful creations. So it may take some time before all these things work out in your factual experience. That's okay, 괜찮아요. So, but what you can know is that if you find yourself suffering with pain and discomfort, it's time to let go. Because pain and discomfort are signs that you're blocking what's coming from heaven. And that is always painful. That's actually why there is so much pain and suffering on earth. Because mankind has resisted what God would create. and insisted on its own limited, distorted creations, even though people have no true vision of what's good for the whole. But heaven does. A mantra that I say daily is this: heaven is always planting seeds for the greatest blessing of the whole. So I want to close with something that Martin said that I think can bring you assurance in the midst of all that's swirling and changing in our world. There is that which is coming down from God out of heaven. The truth is coming forth. There is nothing that can prevent it coming forth. Nothing can stop the divine outworking. Human beings certainly cannot. The nature of that outworking as it relates to the experience of human beings may be a wonderful experience or a very painful experience. But it's going to happen. Whatever may be chosen by human beings. There is nothing to condemn. The power of God is going to clean up this mess. And we don't need to condemn anything to make it work. It's working already. So, let's learn how to create naturally and be the channels for more people to experience the wonder of heaven's design. So, as I was preparing for this service, a new mantra came to me I want to share as I end. May I not condemn, but see this as the perfect circumstance into which I can bring the radiation of God. So we can learn to let the radiation of God do the work, and then watch heaven bring truth's wisdom and beauty. 함께 합시다. Let's do that together. Thank you so much.
감사합니다.